Alright, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and salutations to the Akim out there, spreading this truth like wildfire in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. And Shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. Alright, I'm going to title this video The Perfect Storm. Because the perfect storm is about to hit this place. You got the you got you got the lockdowns coming, the LDs. You got the LDs coming. You got the BRICS doing what they gonna do. You know, Saudi Arabia has now been accepted, by the way. And you got the and you got the yeah, all they have to do is approve a new currency. And you got so you got that coming up. And you got a potential government shutdown coming up. And you got all these supply chain issues. First article I'm going to get is this. They're already starting. Schools already closing due to, you see it, you know what it is, just weeks after starting. One school district is already canceling classes due to spikes of cases in the area. Just 2 weeks into the start of their school year, officials in Kentucky have called off school for the rest of the week due to quote-unquote student and staff illness. The District of Lee County announced on Tuesday, August 22nd, that in-person classes, extracurricular practices, and games in the district have been canceled for the remainder of the week. Public Health Director for the Kentucky River District, Scott Lockhart, told news outlets local to the area that there has been an increase in cases throughout the district. But that, you know what it is, was not the singular driving factor in the district's decision to temporarily close their doors. Quote unquote, we're seeing people who are testing negative for that who are still coming up positive for other respiratory illnesses, Lockhart said. In Lee County, the attendance is at that level where they felt they needed to make the call to dismiss classes the rest of the week. The school district contains 2 schools and serves just under 900 students, according to U.S. News and World Report. The district called off classes completely Tuesday and Wednesday and is opting for non-traditional instruction (NTI) days that can be conducted at home instead on Thursday and Friday, according to Lee County School District website. The cancellation comes as 1984 edition hospitalizations have increased week over week since late July, but still weeks ahead of what is traditionally considered cold and flu season in the U.S., something that the Lexington Fayette County Health Department has the Lexington Fayette County Health Department concerned. Between the flu, RSV, and that, This could be a very serious fall and winter. Kevin Hall, representative of the health department, told the local NBC News affiliate Lex 18. In addition to practicing good hygiene and hand washing, both Hall and Lockhart recommended that those who are eligible to get the new Boost Mobiles, do so when they become available. Pharma companies Pfizer, Moderna, and Novavax have all stated that their latest round have been updated to target some of the most dominant versions of that 1984 edition that are currently circulating. All boosters are currently awaiting the Food and Drug Administration's approval. Once that happens, manufacturers have signaled that they are prepared to make Boost Mobiles available in the fall. And yeah, man, they're already starting. And you could say, oh, that's just some random school in Kentucky. But remember, that's how they start. And let me do this. You got this as well. School district in South Texas temporarily closes due to uptick in 1984 edition cases. Classes at Runge ISD will soon resume on Tuesday, August 29th. So right now what they're doing is temporary closures. But that's how it starts. The superintendent of Runge ISD announced in a letter Monday that schools will be closed from Tuesday, August 22nd through Friday, August 25th. The safety and well-being of our students, staff, and community is the top priority, Superintendent Hector Dominguez Jr. said in a statement. Runge, Texas is in Karnes County, just under an hour and a half away from San Antonio. The school district updates its case numbers on its website frequently. As of August the 21st, the district had 10 active cases. In addition to the school closures, all extracurricular activities and practices will also be canceled out of precaution. Students and staff can return to the classroom at 7:50 a.m. Tuesday, August 29th. Please be advised that a new instructional calendar will be presented soon, indicating new instructional dates for students, Dominguez said in a letter. Anyone with more questions can contact Dominguez Jr. via email at hdominguez@rungeisd.org. But you see it. You see it. And right now, they're only doing temporary closures. But wait, they're gonna start doing permanent closures as the numbers go up. This is Operation Lockstep, where they're locking down, they locking shit down. But they're beginning like this because Esau believes in something called gradualism. Gradualism. A policy of gradual reform rather than sudden change or revolution. So gradualism, they're gradually doing it, easing it in. That's what they're doing. Now let me look up Slovakia. Let me look up. Let me see if there's anything else. Yup, got this article right here. Schools face extending learning loss threats with new EC wave. A sign that. Okay, this was from 2020. A sign that reads social distance maintained 6 feet is posted on student lockers at a school in Baldwin, NY on August 28, 2020. Nationwide schools have been absent at record rates and students reopened after 1984 edition forced closures. More than a quarter of students missed at least 10% of the 2021-22 school year. News Nation, a new summer version, yeah, same thing, is putting schools in a tough situation, bringing with it the potential for extended absences and an extension of endemic learning loss, and the force to make decisions that are sure to be met with community blowback either way. For instance, the second largest school district in the U.S. is encouraging students to come to school sick to combat the high rates of absences, not if they have a fever. The LA Times reported it's a decision made in the face of an emerging new variant, EG.5, which accounts for EG.5, a new version of that, a new remix, which accounts for 17.3% of infections in the U.S., according to the CDC data. And they're basically let me read through this. So this is they're saying not yet, basically. This is an article that's saying not yet. But you see what's going on in that district in Kentucky, in that district in Kansas, in that district in South Texas, not too far from where I'm at. And you see how Esau deals with gradualism. So, we're going to have to monitor the situation. But AJ Skull and Bones could have been right. We're going to see. But it looks like that's what's going on because that's how it started. And plus, it's named after. Hold on. Eris, which is the Roman goddess, the Greek goddess of strife and discord. Her Roman equivalent is Discordia, which means the same. So, hey, looks like Esau, he's bringing those second LDs. Now, what else am I gonna get? Got supply chain issues. More than 20 ships are in a traffic jam outside the Panama Canal, showing that we can't get through a year without big boats getting stuck. More than 200 ships are stuck in a traffic jam outside the Panama Canal. What the fuck? Hold on. Slack you. More than 200 ships are stuck in a traffic jam outside the Panama Canal. Unexpected drought is causing rare conditions that make it harder for the vessels to pass. In the past 3 years, at least one big boat has gotten stuck in a body of water each year. So now they're having problems in the Panama Canal. More big boats stuck in the small canal. Over 200 ships are stuck in a major traffic jam on either side of the Panama Canal, with some ships trapped for more than 3 weeks waiting to get through, according to data from Project 444 reviewed by Insider. Most of the stuck vessels are bulk cargo ships or gas carriers, according to the Today Show. The ships are stuck because of the unprecedented drought in Panama, the Wall Street Journal reported. The canal relies on rainwater to replenish its sources, but a lack of rain makes it difficult for ships to cross. The Panama Canal Authority has placed a higher premium on the heaviest and largest ships that have to pass, meaning companies are able to transport fewer goods, which could lead to empty shelves and higher prices, according to data from Project 44. The canal typically processes 40% of all U.S. container traffic, AlixPartners reported. The traffic jam is causing a slowdown in consumer goods delivery and is already stoking concerns over the holiday supply chain. Some shippers might experience a supply chain bottleneck and delays in deliveries due to the conditions, according to AlixPartners. Authorities have implemented further restrictions, including lowering the number of booking slots for large ships from 14 to 14 for 23, according to Project 44, and lowering the number of ships allowed to pass through the canal from a range of 36 to 34 to 32. But the stuck ships had come as no surprise. It is the third year in a row in which the world has marveled at an unfortunate logjam of maritime traffic. In the summer of 2021, the Ever Given, a humongous container ship, got stuck in the Suez Canal for 6 days, blocking one of the world's most vital shipping routes. Less than a year later, in March 2022, the Ever Given sister ship, the Ever Forward, got stuck in the Chesapeake Bay for more than a month. Yup. So now you got this, which is going to affect deliveries for people, for stores. It's going to affect a lot of shit. And there's already supply chain problems. Major supply chain supply chain issues are beginning to develop all over the country. Supply chain problems were supposed to be a thing of the past, but instead our supply chains just keep getting hit by issue after issue. Have you noticed that it's become really difficult to acquire parts and get things repaired? It isn't just your imagination. And have you noticed that store shelves seem rather sparse just about wherever you go shopping? During my latest visit to the local grocery store, I was stunned to see how thin stock levels had become. I assumed that it was because I had arrived at a bad time and that they were about to be restocked. But then started looking into this, and I discovered that major supply chain issues are starting to develop all over the country. According to a survey that was recently conducted, a whopping 82% of those that had visited brick and mortar stores had problems with things being out of stock this year. The figure is up 11% from the same time last year. More than 4/5 of 82% of bricks and mortar shoppers said they experienced items being out of stock this year, according to new research. The data from software provider Retail Insight finds this headline figure is up 11 percentage points year on year. It says supply chain disruptions causing is now seriously threatening customer loyalty. The findings are based off a survey of 100 people and found shoppers believe product availability has become increasingly a problem since the onset of the pandemic, as reported by 71% of respondents. And we're about to have another lockdown, which is going to increase the problems. An additional 3/4, 75%, said product availability has worsened since the start of the cost of living crisis. Of course, it isn't just brick and mortar stores that are having trouble keeping things in stock. Here's more from the same survey. This was also a story amongst online shoppers, where incidents of out-of-stock items have increased by 6 percentage points year on year, with 60% of customers now seeing out-of-stock items online. At a time when things were supposed to be getting back to normal, these numbers are going up. This isn't good. So what in the world is going on? Well, the truth is that it isn't just one thing. In a video he just posted, Steve Popular explains that our supply chains are literally being hit from countless different directions right now. Sadly, some of the wounds to our supply chains are self-inflicted. For example, the Biden administration has decided to impose new tariffs that could quote-unquote raise the prices of canned foods by up to 30%. The Biden administration on Thursday announced new tariffs on can-making metal imported from China, Germany, and Canada, a move that food companies say could lead to higher prices for some canned foods. Chinese products would be subject to the highest tariffs of the three countries, a levy of 122.52 of the import value. That rate partly reflects Chinese companies' refusal to cooperate with the investigation to prove their independence from the Chinese Communist Party, an administration official said. The Consumer Brands Association trade group, representing companies such as Campbell Soup and Fresh Del Monte products, estimated new tariffs, if applied aggressively, could raise the prices of canned food by up to 30%. Thanks, Joe. Now, a can of soup that currently costs us about $2 will soon be close to $3 when you add on sales tax. On top of everything else, the seemingly endless drought in the middle of the country is likely to mean that corn production and soy production will be both well below expectations this year. This week, a massive heat dome will drive the heat index above 110 degrees in our agricultural heartland, and this is not good news at all. The heat dome will consume the plains and Mississippi Valley into the south this week with oppressive and dangerous conditions. The National Weather Service reported early Monday. The more widespread, quote unquote, the more widespread weather hazard extending through midweek involves searing temperatures impacting the majority of the central U.S. and Gulf Coast. Dangerous heat underneath an extremely potent upper level ridge is centered over the middle Mississippi Valley is forecast to stretch from parts of the upper Midwest to the Gulf Coast. Highs into the upper 90s and triple digits will be easy to come by over the next several days with heat indices into the 110s when taking into account the humidity. Unfortunately, the entire globe has been dealing with very unusual weather patterns this summer, and global food prices are beginning to surge. And Esau uses his heart to cause a lot of it, but ultimately it is judgment from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. But Esau is going to blame it on climate change when he's the one causing the change. Prices for rice grow. Okay, needless to say, this is hitting those living in extreme poverty the hardest. Prices for rice grown in Kenya soared a week ago because of higher fertilizer prices and a years-long drought in the Horn of Africa that has reduced production. Cheap rice imported from India has filled the gap, beating many of the hundreds of thousands of residents in Nairobi's Kibera slum who survive on less than $2 a day. But that is changing. The price of a 25 kilogram, 55-pound bag of rice has risen by a fifth since June. Wholesalers are yet to receive new stock since India, the world's largest exporter of rice, said last month that it would ban from some rice shipments. You know, of course, Esau was gonna do that because that's part of that war on rice. Well, Esau and the heathens, they work together. But even though we're in the early chapters of the world for the worst global food crisis in modern history, leaders in the Western world continue to do absolutely insane things in the name of fighting climate change. Things are particularly crazy over in Europe. Look to the Netherlands for further evidence. Dutch farmers, the backbone of a nation that is a leading exporter of meat and agricultural products, are being chased off their land. 3,000 farms are forecast to be confiscated in the coming years. The tragic fallout is evident, with a reported 20 to 30 farmers tragically ending their lives annually. Our friends in Europe are no strangers to those baffling decisions either. The European Commission greenlit a strategy to compensate livestock farmers for halting their operations in certain areas, with a stipulation that they never resume their animal breeding activities. Their implications are clear. A drop in global food availability, and an inevitable spike in prices. Have they gone completely nuts? Maybe. Here in the U.S., suspicious fires, quote unquote, continue to erupt at key facilities over and over again. The latest example happened at a large fertilizer plant in Bartlett, Texas. The American Plant Food Corporation fertilizer plant fire has been contained and the air quality is deemed good as hazmat crews continue to work to clean up the site of the fire and firefighters work to clear the smolder, authorities said. Bartlett Mayor Chad Mees and Bartlett Volunteer Fire Department Fire Chief Stephen Wintersek on Monday said the fire department, slacking for that, received a call about the fire at 8:30 p.m. on August 20 at the plant located at 9901 North Highway 95, Bartlett. Fire Chief Stephen Wintrick said that when crews arrived at the scene, the building was fully engulfed and help was sought from departments in surrounding areas. Satan, man. We keep being told that it is just a coincidence. That there have been dozens of such fires all over the nation, but they keep happening, and we keep being told that our supply chain problems are being fixed, but they just keep getting worse. So what's going to happen when global events become a lot more chaotic in 2024 and beyond? And hey, Yahweh Shimi Al Shai Ratazah, that we get out of here, soon. It is written that Yahweh Shimi Al Shai is going to shorten the days. Let me get that. Because if he didn't, no flesh would be saved. But he's going to shorten it for the elect's sake. Matthew 24 and 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. And let me get Second Ezra's chapter 16 verse 21. This is what's been happening. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great destruction, great confusion. Salakia. I'm going to get this one. Verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And these supply chain issues, that's gonna lead to a famine. These coupled with these supply chain issues, coupled with new lockdowns, that's gonna destroy the economy. It's going to destroy these small businesses, making the rich richer, because these major corporations are going to take their place, making the rich richer and the poor poorer. Oh shit. and also what's going on at the BRICS summit. You know, we're just waiting on them to come out with that new BRICS dollar, man. Which would be 50, which it would take 55 US dollars to equal one BRIC dollar. One BRICS dollar. Yup, the potential impact of a new BRICS currency. How much is a BRICS coin? One BRICS currency coin can currently be purchased for approximately $23,000 and and 875 and 8 cents. Damn. Yeah, this place is through. Yeah, however, if New BRICS currency was to stabilize against the dollar, it could weaken the power of U.S. sanctions, leading to a further decline in the dollar's value. Yup. So we gotta watch what's going on over there too with the BRICS. Let me get. Okay, that's not. Hold on. Hold on. There you go. It was staring right at me. It was staring right in my face and didn't even know. Didn't even know it was there. That'd be Satan though, fucking with my mental. But let me get into this article. Satan hindering, right? That's one way Satan can hinder. But anyways, a U.S. government shutdown looks likely, and it'll hit stocks in the economy. Goldman Sachs says. Now I need you to keep in mind what I brought out earlier, and combine that with the government shutdown, and it does not look good. Looks like this place is through. The U.S. government shutdown looks likely to hit stocks. It'll hit stocks in the economy. Goldman Sachs says a U.S. government shutdown is more than likely than not to happen in 2023. Goldman Sachs warned. Lawmakers have been sparring over government spending and are unlikely to agree on a budget in time. That could be a headwind to stocks and economic growth, the bank said. The bank said the U.S. government looks on track to shut down at the end of next month. That sets a wave on stocks and the economy, according to Goldman Sachs. The federal government looks more likely than not to temporarily shut down this year. The bank's team of strategists warned in a note Sunday evening. This has looked fairly likely since the debt limit deal, in light of thin House majority and a lack of consensus on spending levels. Politicians have been sparring over government spending constraints and the U.S.'s rising debt load for months, leading markets to fret over a potential U.S. default earlier this year. These fears were soothed, Slovakia. They were soothed after President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy struck an agreement in June to suspend the national debt limit through 2025, while lingering disagreements have still raised the odds that Congress will fail to agree on a budget for the coming fiscal year. That's been exacerbated by Fitch's recent downgrade of the U.S. credit rating, the bank said, which has stoked even more concerns on the government's growing debt balance. Still, a government shutdown wouldn't be as catastrophic as a debt default, a shutdown which has happened 20 times since 76, with previous shutdowns lasting as little as a few hours, would be manageable for the U.S. economy, Goldman said, though that in itself spells bad news. Compared to the debt limit, the less severe economic effect of a shutdown also makes it more likely that Congress fails to act in time. The strategist added, a shutdown could usher in a small headwind to economic growth and to stocks, including the private sector. Growth could be lowered by 0.2 percentage points a week, the bank estimated. Meanwhile, stocks have also always traded lower in the days following the government shutdown. The bank said, meaning near-term downsides for equities is likely this time around. In 2018, for instance, the S&P 500 slumped around 8% in the week following the government shutdown, though the index rebounded within the next month. Lawmakers are currently on recess and will be back to hash out the terms of the government budget in early September. At that point, they'll have less than a month to settle on the budget before the government could potentially run out of money to fund itself. McCarthy told other House members that Congress may need to pass a short-term government funding bill to buy policymakers some more time. Two people familiar with the matter told NBC last week. Meanwhile, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said he is open to exploring such deals in talks with McCarthy. Okay, so basically, you got this coming too. You got a government shutdown coming as well. And, Esau could use this, and along with the other events that are coming to crash the economy. And let me get now let me get Zephaniah 1 and 10. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh, that there shall be a noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. Verse 11, how ye inhabitants of Maktesh, which was a merchant, the merchant part of Jerusalem, modern day Maktesh would be what? Wall Street. For all the Maktesh of America would be what? You look at it this way. The Maktesh of America would be Wall Street. For all the merchant people are cut down, and all they that bear silver are cut off. And let me get Ecclesiastes 12, verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house, the economists, that's literally what it means. The keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. There you go. Shit. Let me get this. James 5 and 1. Go to now, ye rich men, because the average rich person, not the elites, will eventually the elites, but as of now, the average, Wall Street investor, for example. James 5 and 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Verse 2, your riches are corrupted and your garments moth eaten. Verse 3, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. You shall eat your flesh, I shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Verse 4, behold, the hire of the laborers which have reaped on your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of Yahweh of Sabaoth. Verse 5, ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Verse 6, ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. Verse 7, be patient thereof, brethren, unto the coming of Yahweh Shai. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it until he receive the early and latter rain. Verse 8, be ye also patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of Yahweh Shai draweth nigh. Ultimately, all these things that's going on spell the end of this place, Babylon. Known as this place, America, known as Babylon the Great. Salakia, Babylon in the Bible. And which is the end of Esau's supremacy, his rulership over the earth. And who is Esau? The self-proclaimed so-called white man. But anyways, let me get Hold on. And that, hey, all these signs point to the end of this man's world and the beginning of our world, as it is written. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And that's why we watching for the end of this place. Watching these signs which help us measure the time diligently. 2nd Ezra 9 and 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass which I have told thee before. Verse 2, then thou shalt understand that it is the same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Verse 3, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and which you've been seeing that as well. You're gonna see more of it with this LD coming up. Verse 4, and thou shalt well understand that the Most High Yahweh spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Verse 5, from like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and the end is manifest. You see what's going on. You see these signs, man. Earthquakes and uproars of the people, man. You see what's going on in Matthew 24 and 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. Verse 8, and all these are the beginning of sorrows. You see it happening. You see more of it happening. You know, these wars and rumors of wars. Verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for these things that must come to pass, but the end is not yet. You're seeing that happening in West Africa and Niger. And that ongoing war, that's rumor wars over there in Niger. And that ongoing and rumor war between China and Taiwan in the U.S. The rumor war between North Korea and South Korea and Japan and the U.S. All these rumors of wars. And war between Russia and Ukraine. Rumors of wars between Iran and the U.S. That's why the U.S. is sending warships over there to the Red Sea and to the Persian Gulf. Got warships over there. As they're getting ready for that final war, Armageddon. aka World War III. You know, that third war. That third war draweth not. The third war, man. Which is the third war. The third world war. You know, Revelation 11 and 14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And And you see them talking about a possible draft. You know, so all these are signs of the end. And we're supposed to measure the time diligently. Because we are not, hold on, let me get it. The day is not going to overcome his elect like a thief. Hold on. One Thessalonians 5 and plus 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Oh, verse 4, because ye brethren are not in darkness that day should overtake you as a thief. You know, speaking of the elect of the nation of Israel. Verse 5, ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Verse 6, therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. You know, spiritually. Because, of course, we all go to sleep, right? So it's the same thing. Sometimes you drink some alcohol, but you don't be doing that all the time, though. But that's not the meaning to it. Just like you can sleep sometimes you can drink. But yeah, verse 7, for they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. Verse 8, but let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet the hope of salvation. So, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. We're supposed to watch for these signs. Not like the two-thirds who are two-thirds of so-called black people, Latinos, and Native Americans, Hebrew Israelites, the Israelite foreigners included in that. Here in the States, that's two-thirds of y'all are through as well. Not paying attention to the times in that house of mirth. You know, like the days of Noah. You know, y'all are like the people that were in the days of Noah. Shit. It's in Matthew chapter 24. For some reason, it's not letting me look it up. Spelled it right. The second time. Oh, slacking. Slacking. It's because I ain't spelled the way you spelled it here. Matthew 24, verse 17, but as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Verse 38, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Verse 39, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Yeah, y'all, basically living your best life, not giving a fuck. And all these signs of the end are out here. And before the nukes hit, you're gonna have a time period called Jacob's trouble in the scriptures. But he shall be saved out of it. Who is he? The elect. Jeremiah 30:7. Last for that greatest day is great, so none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And you see, Esau, the average Edomite is training up. They're training for the race war and shit. So when shit hits the fan, it's gonna get ugly out here. Only the elect is gonna be saved out of it. You survive that, might die of famine. Survive the famine, you might die by the sword, either by these average militia devils or by these Gurkha troops, by this government, by this government. Or even by another Jake who needs to eat. He's starving. So he kills you and takes your food. But that's gonna happen. Second Ezra chapter 15. Verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Yeah, these are the times that we're coming into. 1:44 when I said it. Well, on my kitchen clock it's 1:44. Kala ya bashimi outside bashimi crocodiles. But anyways, yeah, man, these are the times that we're coming into. And if you're not watching, that day is gonna overtake you as a thief. You're not watching and getting right. Because you could be like these preppers out here. But that ain't going to help you, because if you're not spiritually prepped, if you're not good with the Yahweh Shemi outside, the one who's bringing the bad times, the evils, you're not going to be all right. Luke 12:16, and he spake a certain parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. Verse 17, and he thought within himself, what shall I do, because I have no room where to bestow my fruits? Verse 18, and he said, this will I do, I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow my fruits and my goods. Verse 19, and I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years, take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. Verse 20, but the Most High Power Yahweh said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall these things be which thou hast provided? Verse 21, so is he that layeth up treasure for himself, and is not rich towards the Most High Power Yahweh. And these Edomite preppers, they're not rich towards the Most High Power Yahweh, because they don't know him. But you have, they never known him. But you have these Jake celebrities that also have bunkers, like Kanye West, for example. Other Jake celebrities. They have these bunkers, and they think they're gonna be all right when shit hits the fan. When hey, the parable of the rich man gonna apply to them, man. You know, they may not get to their bunker in time. You know, shit may hit the fan so quick, they may get stranded and not be able to get back to their bunker. You know, marauders might run into their shit. You know, take them out and take their shit. You know, it's only so much bullets out there, man. It's only so much of them. Then what? You know, they saved it for nothing for those marauders. And then they kill each other They kill each other for the food that they stole. A lot of these bunkers are going to be left are going to end up being for the elect. But yeah, it's going to be hell. It's gonna, pure a time of pure hell is coming to this place, and as all the signs are pointing to, and that's all the signs are pointing to. And if you're not ready, you're gonna be through. And then, for those of y'all that survive Jacob's trouble, a lot of y'all are gonna take the chip. A lot of y'all are gonna take the sea hill, man. Revelation 3:10 on down to 12, that applies to the elect. Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I'll also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Verse 11, behold, I come quickly, hold that fast, which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Verse 12, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, Yahweh, and he shall go no more out, and I'll write upon him the name of my power, Yahweh, and the name of the city of my power, Yahweh, which is New Jerusalem, which come out of heaven from my power, Yahweh, and I'll write upon him my new name. So basically, if you didn't like, you good. Revelation 13:16. And he causes all both small and great. This is how he's going to do it. This is how these devils are going to do it. They're going to bring a time of pure hell. They're going to be used by the Most High Yahweh to bring pure hell upon this place, on the earth, especially this place, especially Babylon. That's one way. He's going to starve the people into submission. Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Verse 18, here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for as the number of a man is number 603, which is chi stigma in the Greek. And stigma is also a clue to what it is. The RFID chip. When you look into what stigma is. And as well as we break down charagma to charax. Esau is going to stake his claim to 2/3 of you tribes, man. He's going to hit you with that digital owl. and 2/3 of y'all are going to be destroyed. Revelation 14. Well, before that, Revelation 16 and 2. And the first wind and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there went a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. And let me get Revelation 14, start at verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his right hand. Verse 10, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High Power Yahweh, which is poured out without a mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Verse 11, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the mark in his image, and whosoever who worship the beast in his image, Salakia, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Verse 12, here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High Power Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shai. You know, you take that RFID chip, you take that grain of rice, you're through. You're finished. But if you don't, and you're of the elect of the nation of Israel, you're going to be beamed up. Revelation 15 and 1. I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Most High Power Yahweh. Verse 2, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image, or over his mark, and over the number of his name, that stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High Power Yahweh. Verse 3, and they sang the song of Moses, servant of the Most High Power Yahweh, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works. The Most High Power, Lord God Almighty, just and Lord Yahweh Almighty, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. Verse 4, who shall not fear thee, O Yahweh, and glorify thy name? For thou only art holy, and all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest. Yeah. So, the elect is going to get beamed up. They're going to be singing the song of Moses. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Right to Zah. I'm of that number. That's why we do this work, to make our calling and election sure. Well, with that, I hope this live was. I hope this. It's not live. I hope this video is edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone Ruel. And peace and citations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire and all truthfulness and all sincerity. Shalom, stay strong. Abba, and Yasharallah forever. Abba, dead to Babylon. Abadla Adawamim, dead to these Edomites. Abadla Gawayim, dead to these other nations. Wa and Abad La Yam Nawa. Yab Yam Nawa. Dead to Yab Yam Nawa. Dead to our enemies, the rest of them being 2/3 of you so-called black people, Latinos, Native Americans, you Hebrew Israelites, as well as you Israelite foreigners here in the States, as well as you wicked Israelites scattered to the four corners of the earth. Shalom, stay strong, Abba, and Yasharallah forever.